how far can you really get in the real world on a full charge with the Model Y long-range rear-wheel drive? Let's find out. So according to Tesla, the long-range rear-wheel drive model has a range of 657 kilometers. And that's the strange thing, because Tesla says 657, but now on the 100% it shows 558 kilometers. So the route today is 547 kilometers, and technically I should be able to do that, right? However, because most of the route is on highway, I'm most likely not gonna get that far. Also, if you look at the route, you can see there's a supercharging stop here halfway. Yeah, there's only one way to find out. Let's start driving. It's currently 11:05. I will also try to make sure to track the average speed, and then we'll see. So the number one thing that you need to understand with range, especially if you're not driving an EV, is that it doesn't really matter. I mean, unless you only have like 200 kilometers of range, then it would suck. But most EVs these days, they have a range of over 400 kilometers. And even if you're on a road trip and you make thousands of kilometers, you don't really want to drive for longer than 2 or 3 hours without having a break. So that's why knowing that you have to plug in and charge every 300-400 kilometers, then you kind of look forward to it because you can have a break. Or I mean, at least that's the case for me. And then also another thing that is important to understand is that you never charge from 0% all the way to 100%. It's not good for the battery, and also it takes way too long. I mean, before I actually charged it from 6% all the way to 100%, and it took me like an hour. And that was a fast supercharger as well. Most of the time I charge when I'm at around 20%, and then I charge all the way up to 80, maybe even just 70%, and that is very fast. That usually takes me like 15, maybe 20 minutes, and then I can continue the trip. So often I literally go out the car, go to the toilet or grab something to eat, and then I get back to the car and it's already ready to continue driving. And what's also super convenient is the GPS here. You literally just put in your destination and it will calculate how many stops you need to make, how long you have to stay there to charge, and it pretty much organizes everything for you. So there's not really something you need to think about when it comes to charging. And especially nowadays, there are so many supercharger and other EV chargers all over the place. So it's very rare that you actually need to plan, okay, where can I charge next? I actually own a 2023 Tesla Model X Plaid, and it has a range of around 500 kilometers. Well, okay, now after owning it for 3 years, it maybe has 400, 450, something like that, like real world. And I do spend a lot of time in nature, especially like in the Swiss Alps, and I go a lot off the grid. And there were only a few times when I had to like reorganize the route because I needed to stop at a supercharger to get some juice for the battery. But other than that, I don't know why people are always so against EVs, due to the reason that you have to charge it, that it's a battery and you need to wait and all of this. It's really not that big of a deal as most people would think. I mean, yeah, and of course that comes from someone who is an electric car fan, so obviously I'm not quite biased there, but I just think it's funny when people argue with me about the range, that it's so inconvenient and all of this. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm off the highway now because I quickly have to drop off the Dreamcase mattresses that I have in my car. I got 2 Dreamcase beds and the window blinds in here because I was filming in Croatia with those products. If you haven't seen those videos yet, I'm gonna put the card somewhere here on screen. And yeah, I'm gonna drop them off now at the factory and then continue driving. What's crazy is when you drive on the roads like this, the average speed drops down to like 70 or something. And then the consumption also drops by a lot. So maybe if you would drive like this all the time, you might be able to reach those 657 kilometers. All right, let me also quickly get something to eat. back on the road. So we currently have 70% left. So the next stop will be in Graz, and it actually says that we arrived there with 22%, which is definitely not that much because we need a lot more. Because from Graz it's still another 200 kilometers to Vienna. Doesn't look good. So far we drove 267 kilometers and we got 41% of charge, equals to 231 kilometers. We already lost, well, that's hard to calculate. We already lost that much. Like this, we would arrive with minus 13% in Vienna. Yeah, I quickly need a toilet. And it's so stupid because here's a supercharger, but I'm not allowed to charge because this is the challenge of that video. Normally, of course, I would charge here a little bit, go to the toilet, maybe also get something to eat, and then I just continue to drive. But not this time. How I said earlier, there are superchargers literally all over the place. I didn't know there is actually one. I just randomly stopped there because I needed a toilet, and yeah, they're just everywhere. It also would be interesting to know how much of a difference it makes, because I was in Croatia, which is sea level, and now I'm driving to Vienna, which is 400 meters above sea level or 250. It's higher up. Also the way there actually goes over some mountains, so there is definitely a lot of elevation that I need to cover on this tour. So most definitely that makes a little difference. Ooh, interesting. Got this message now. So if I stay below 89 kilometers per hour, I should arrive in Vienna. But I mean, I'm not gonna drive that slow because this should be a real world test, and I just drive normal like I always do. So it's always between 120, 130, something like that. It's 3:10 now. That means I'm on the road since 4 hours. I mean, I did a little break in Ljubljana, but it doesn't feel that long. And I think an important factor is the autopilot. I have the autopilot engaged, and now and then I just need to tap the indicator to switch lanes. And of course, always hold the steering wheel a little bit so the car knows that I'm still here. Another thing I need to point out is that it's so quiet. I mean, listen to this. Then the window, yeah, when the windows are closed, it's very quiet. So that's definitely another reason why it feels so almost relaxing while driving. This is actually already the second border today. So this morning I was in Croatia, then I drove to Slovenia, and now I border into Austria. Alright, second stop in Graz. Gonna pick up something at the friend's place, so yeah, we'll be back in a second. Wow, yeah, I picked up a lot of music equipment, and now, last section. Let's go back to Vienna and let's see if I need to charge and when. Okay, the last 100 kilometers. Alright, I have to go to this supercharger here because the issue is the next one is here. And I would arrive there with minus 9%. I was hoping that I can drive this car until it shows 0%. But if we would do that, we would literally be stuck far away from the next superchargers. So that's why I have to stop at the next supercharger. I just noticed that I haven't talked about the temperature yet, because outside it has been around 14, 15 degrees the entire day. So it's definitely not the ideal temperature for the battery. So most likely the car would do a little better when it's a little bit warmer. I don't know actually what's the best temperature for it, but whatever it is, it definitely wasn't the case today. So maybe in summer I will do another test to see how far we can really push this car. Let me know in the comments if you think I should do that. I just took a wrong turn and now I'm making a big detour, which adds a few extra kilometers. Could get close to get to that supercharger. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Nice. All right, I have arrived with 3%, 18 kilometers. let's have a look. I'm so curious to see how far we got. It's 5:20, so that means over 6 hours we've been on the road. We did 2 stops, but yeah, we were driving the whole day pretty much. And now let's go to the trips. We did 425 kilometers on one single charge, and the average consumption was 162. I mean, it's crazy how much lower the average is on this Model Y compared to my Model X Plaid. I think I have around 220, and the furthest I drove was almost 400 kilometers. So now with the 425 kilometers, this is a new personal record. I've never driven that far with an EV. At least that's a good thing, but I'm still so confused about the 657 kilometers that it says on Tesla's website. It might be a typo. It's definitely important to mention that again. I drove pretty much all the time on the highways. I was going 120, 130 the entire time, so definitely not ideal. And also the temperatures, it wasn't like a hot summer day. Take that into consideration. Now also YouTube thinks you like one of those 2 videos, so if you want to keep watching something, you can do so. Look, banana. This is going to be my dinner. Yeah. Yeah, if you want, watch something. Otherwise, I see you next week. Bye-bye.